Hey everyone, it's Tammy from Appalachian Ambrosia. Today I am talking to Rachel Larkey, who is the Glade Spring branch manager of the Washington County, Virginia Public Library. So I'm so glad you're with me, Rachel. Thanks for coming on.
No problem. I'm glad to be here.
Well, as we've talked some, I wanted to have you on to share with the folks a little bit about yourself, because you took on this role of branch manager, January 2020, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So, and then we know what happened shortly after that. The pandemic hit. So many in the county or just in the region there or local area, many in Glade Spring maybe have not had the chance to come in to really get to know you as their librarian and what all you have to offer there, your plans, your hopes, your dreams for the branch. And so I'd like for you to tell folks a little bit about yourself, and then we'll go from there and talk a little bit about the library itself.
Okay. I've lived in Glade Spring now for 14 years. I'm originally from Bristol, Tennessee. I have family roots here. My maiden name's Eller. My grandmother was Luella Eller. She was a hairdresser here in town. So I grew up in town. I grew up in Town Square. My Aunt Teeny had Christine's Country Kitchen, and Uncle Lonnie had his market. So really, this has always been kind of like a second home. And we moved back 14 years ago and just kind of fell in place, and very happy that this opportunity came to me to be a part of the community in this way.
Now, I know that you worked some in the school systems before you took this position. What are some of the roles that you played in the school system?
Well, I started out as a substitute teacher. Then that evolved into me working as a classroom aide at Valley Institute. And I also was a transportation specialist for the school system with Valley. And Valley, love that.
So those things prepared you well to take on the branch manager position, because you were dealing with children at that point when you started those positions, and now you've got children and adults alike coming into the library. So tell me what happened to the library there when the pandemic hit?
Well, we did a hard shutdown just like everybody else did. So we spent our time cleaning the library, going through the books, ordering new books, coming up with, ideas of things to do once we opened back up. Of course, those kept getting delayed just due to the uprise and the uptick in COVID. But for me, mainly, it was just getting to know the system, getting to know the books, the authors. That way, I was more familiar with somebody if they came and said, this is the kind of book I want, and I was able to match them with an author. I felt really good in that position when we opened back up for Curbside eventually in July.
So you started Curbside in July 2020, is that right?
Yes, we did.
And how did that work for folks?
Well, it was great because they hadn't been into the library since March. So like my first day, Curbside appointments, I think we had about 25. And the maximum amount of books that could be checked out at that time was 10 books. So, we're talking about 200 books went out the door that day for me.
What is the normal amount of books that can be checked out at one time?
Oh, gosh, I've had as much as 30 books for one individual. With children, especially with children, that, we're talking 20, 30 books for a parent to check out.
So your rules are a lot more lenient than the public school system.
Yeah, we are.
When they have a limit of 2 books that they can check out, and but that's good that you can have that amount to check out at the library there in Glade. How did the parents or the students contact you in order to get Curbside service?
They just called, and for some parents, especially the ones that were doing virtual, with the MetaView people, I knew some of the teachers well enough that I could say, hey, this is Bob, and his mom's contacted me. What's his AR level? Because here we keep a sheet of AR levels for juvenile fiction and easy readers. So that was helpful. For those parents.
That is very good. I had no idea that you kept up with the AR levels. I think that's really important. As a former educator, of course, classroom teacher, I had to keep up with the AR levels, but I think that's great that the library does that. Well, let's talk a little bit about how things are right now for you. What's going on right now? How is operation right now for the library? And then expand on some events or things that you've got planned coming up.
Okay. Well, the branches, which is myself, Glade, Damascus, Mendota, and Hiders, we are open for in-person. That means you can walk in Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 10 to 4. And we're still doing curbside Tuesday and Thursday, 10 to 4. The main branch is open 6 days a week for in-person. Hopefully, in the near future, our hours will expand the branch level. But moving forward, our summer reading starts. That's the children's program, and it kicks off June the 5th. That's a Saturday at Maine. And our summer reading for the branches will kick off June 6th, or excuse me, Monday, June the 7th. And we can start registering your children right now. And that's anywhere from 0 on up to 16, 15, 17 years of age. Each week, there's going to be a different theme. Our main theme is called Tails and Tales. And like our very first week is going to be polar animals. And we'll have 2 different options for the kids. They can pick up a take and make craft bag, and that's for kids about 8 and over. And for those younger, we have a story time craft bag that they can pick up. And then the next week, we're going to have, it will be an insect theme. Every week's different. And every branch will eventually host one event. Where in the past, we did an event every week. But due to COVID, we didn't know how anything was going to look this summer. So every branch was going to have their own day that they do something special during that week. And for the Glade branch, we're week 6, and that'll be on a Wednesday from 1 to 2. And that Wednesday is July the 14th, and we're making dog tug toys to donate to the Happy Trails. So, there's all kinds of fun little activities that we're going to do. Unfortunately, due to my spacing, I'm not going to be able to have a story walk, but there's a story walk that's going to take place in Mendota. Hyder's Gap and Damascus is going to offer an obstacle course as well during that time. We are going to do what's called summer feeding. And so each branch is going to have a different time at Glade. Starting on Monday, Monday, June the 7th, the Washington County School System is going to distribute meals from 12:30 to 1:30 all the way till the 1st of July. And then I'm going to be starting on a Tuesday, July the 6th, just that one time Tuesday, with Feeding Southwest Virginia, and we'll be distributing meals through August.
Okay. Now, the lunch program, is there a special name for it there at the library?
Well, the first one is done by the Washington County Public Schools. It's the summer meals for kids, a one-time thing of 5 meals each Monday from 12:30 to 1:30. And then for Feeding America, it will be a 7-day meal kit.
So how do families sign up for that if they're interested in
They don't. They just
participation?
drive by and pick up. Well, there's no registration. You just show up. A parent shows up and picks up for their kids. Kids do not have to be present for the meals to be distributed.
Okay. That's pretty amazing.
Oh, I know.
I'm detail oriented. I'd want a number.
I know. Well, that's what I was wondering. I was like, how do you know how many? I know. But
at least a really good estimate. So,
yeah.
Well, I know in the past the library hosted Movies in the Square. Is that on the horizon anywhere for us this summer, or are we going to wait till next year?
We're going to wait till next year.
It's the safest thing to do. That's right. Is there anything else that you'd like to see for the future of the branch of the library there in Glade?
Well, hopefully once we get back to normal, we can get back to some programming. We're looking at doing a Polar Express in conjunction with the Town of Glade's parade. Again, that is if everything is back to normal. We're looking at bringing in a paranormal expert in October to do a discussion. So we're starting to plan things tentatively and hopefully be able to follow through fully with them and bring back some things that, are needed in the community. Our book club will start back in September, and that meets at the end of the last Tuesday of every month. So it's nice to start thinking about things again and planning and getting things kind of back to normal. I think it's a good normal that's coming back, a renewed spirit of, some fresh starts. And for me, it's been great because I've got to, instead of being thrown into everything, I've got to know the public and know my people, know the guests. So I think I'm looking forward to end of the summer and what we can get to and do and how we can grow and expand and do some outreach.
That's good. Well, just for information, especially for those who might be listening that maybe haven't stepped through the doors of the library, you're located there next to the town square of Glade Spring,
Right.
on the east side. And what's
Yeah.
the official name of the library building? I know it's got a name.
It's the John Perry Building.
The John Perry Building. Okay,
Yeah.
former citizen of Glade Spring, correct?
Right. Yes.
And what's your phone number there?
276-429-5626.
If someone wanted to email you there at the library to ask you a question, what is your email address?
My email address is rlarkey@wcpl.net.
I talked over you a little bit when we said the John Perry Building. You said that was a former grocery store.
Right.
Your dad used to work there?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It is.
And that's not pretty cool. It's really cool that you're in the building that your dad used to work in.
Yeah.
I'm assuming as a youth or a young adult.
Yeah. Went back in
Okay.
15 years in the 50s.
Okay, so we've got your hours, we've got your email address. Is there anything else that you want to get the information out about?
No, I'm an open door. So if anybody has suggestions for programming, a suggestion for books, for authors, I mean, please let me know so we can discuss it and look into it, because a library is really a community center. And as such, I want to do what the community wants and desires. And if we can make it possible and we can make it work, that's our plan. So please, any kind of suggestions, input would be greatly appreciated.
Thank you, Rachel. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today.
As always,
And
great to see you, Tammy.
it's good to see you, and I will be up probably to see you tomorrow. And if there's anything that comes up that you want to publicize and we can have you on just for a quick few minutes, we'll do it, okay?
Oh, great.
All right.
I'll have a lot of programs to talk about.
That sounds great.